Hello everybody, I'm currently staying at a beautiful little cottage in the south of France, and I just had a little bit of a topic to get into this week. I've seen many things in my, frankly, not very long time working in the music industry. Many people with whom I would not want to be even tangentially associated, but there is one person in particular that was just too good not to make a video about. A man by the name of Brad Lindsay, better known by his online pseudonym, the Guitologist. I wasn't planning on making this video, or frankly even aware of who this man is, as little as 3 days ago. But it seems, by all accounts, like I was the last person active in the guitar industry to find out, and so if you don't know yet either, allow me to enlighten you. The Guitologist is a YouTube channel about, well, guitars. Vintage amp repairs, vintage guitar electronics, gear reviews, all of that stuff. And for a while, it was a very popular channel, hence the 150,000 subscribers. But more recently, it seems that Brad has sort of gone off the deep end. Now I'd like to make something understood before we move forward here. This is not a political video. The topic of politics is inherently going to come up, and you will see why in just a bit, or you might already know, but that does not make this a video about politics. You may know my stance, or you may not. You can probably estimate based on the fact that I'm a Gen Z dickhead with a mustache and 70s disco glasses who wears Hawaiian shirts 6 days a week, but aside from that, I wouldn't even have considered making this video if it was just about some political shit. So let's start with how I became aware of the Guitologist. I recently made a video, as of right now a couple days ago, about how the Trump administration in the US abolished the de minimis for import tariffs, essentially killed their free trade agreements with South Korea, and how that is going to affect specifically the guitar industry. That video got many comments, and a lot from people who, let's just say I would prefer not to go out for a drink with. But it's not like I didn't see that coming. One of those people, however, was Brad, and Brad commented this. No circumspection at all, but I expect nothing less at this point. Woke-ass echo chamber, that's what GuitarTube has become. I'll give him this, it does take an impressive level of ignorance to see all of your peers have the opposite opinion to yours, and to then assume that they are stupid and you aren't. So I went and I posted an Instagram story with the comment, and I sort of tagged him in it. I'm sure he didn't see that, he's not very active on Instagram, but if you've been following me over there for a while, you might know that I like to occasionally post the more entertaining comments that I get on this channel. And following that singular Instagram story, I was bombarded with DMs and emails regarding Brad, all of which were something to the effect of, holy shit, I can't believe you don't know this guy already, followed by a bunch of links to stuff in reference to Brad. And before I was able to finish reading all of those news articles, Brad had published a 1 hour long reaction video to what was initially a 10-minute video about import tariffs on my channel. So you can imagine roughly what that looked like. I watched all of 2 minutes of it before wanting to gouge my own eyes out, and I don't intend to waste my time with significantly more of it, even for the purposes of this video. So the essence of it, according to people who did watch it and then sent me messages, is that he believes I am English, which I'm not. He also believes that I'm Indian, which I'm also not. And he believes I should shut the fuck up about the economical situation in any country but the one that he believes to be my own, which it isn't, like I said. And Trump is the greatest president of all time and I'm a little bitch.
Dude, you don't even live here. You don't even fucking live here. Where are you getting this crap? Let's talk about the UK's prime minister. Let's talk about what's been happening in the UK for decades. You've been allowing your country to be flooded with migrants.
I spent significantly more time reading the comments under Brad's video than I did watching the video itself, because those were significantly more entertaining. I'll get the obvious bit out of the way first. The de minimis, like I explained in the last video, was a threshold of product value under which, if you were importing something into the US, you were not going to pay any import fees pretty much no matter where it was coming from. For a guy who does amp repairs, a job in which inherently you will constantly be importing little cheap bits and pieces from somewhere in Asia or Europe, it's kind of strange to be disagreeing with my take on that situation. And I won't even get into the fact that he accepted money from Temu for a video sponsorship. If you know what Temu is, you'll know why that's a bad thing, and I don't really need to do any further explaining there. But Brad's escapades go far beyond that. Like I said, he does amp repairs. What does every amp have in it? That's right, a transformer. You might already see where this is going. Hot leads to confusion and poking with stick. Marshall DSL, new power and tubes. Watch me bang a bulging with a rock-hard object. Now I could see how, to an audience of men over the age of, like, 47, that joke may have been funny one time. In Ace Ventura. In 1994. If you still think that that joke is funny, then I invite you to silently click off my channel and never come back. That does not mean head to the comments and tell me how you're unsubscribing now because I'm not a bigot like you are. It means leave silently. But one article that I was emailed by probably a dozen people is simultaneously the most hilarious and also the most deranged shit that I've read in a long time. Allow me to read you a little excerpt. Louisville, Kentucky. The man cited for threatening Superintendent Marty Polio over a mask requirement in Jefferson County Public Schools described COVID-19 as a fake crisis on his YouTube channel. Quote, I am getting a divorce from my wife. A lot of it has to do with these shutdown mandates, which are frankly unconstitutional. End quote. On another channel, Lindsay has suggested the pandemic was planned in advance by world leaders and business executives. Lindsay was cited for terroristic threatening and disorderly conduct after he jumped out of his car, in which he said he had a gun, and aggressively approached the superintendent at the Van Hoos Education Center. According to the citation, he yelled, "Your life is fucking over. You don't know what I'm capable of doing." He had previously been escorted out of the building after complaining about mask mandates for unvaccinated students and staff. In another video, Lindsay said his wife, with whom he has 2 children, had kicked him out of the house. I feel like that spoke for itself. Now again, I could not care any less what your opinion of the situation in the early 2020s is, because odds are that your opinion is uneducated, as is mine, since we are not medical professionals. But what is not a matter of opinion is that Mr. Brad, you don't know what I'm capable of doing, Lindsay, is essentially a domestic terrorist. Cool. Apparently a lot of people really enjoyed Brad's amp repair content in the years prior to all of this, and I'm sure I would have too because I love repair content, it just seems to entirely have passed me by. But when he sort of started tweaking out around 2021, most people abandoned the channel, leaving only a cult-like following of people who are also crazy. Upon finding out about all of this, I of course went straight back to the video that he made reacting to and insulting me, and commented this. Didn't you march into your kid's school with a gun and accept a sponsorship from Temu? Nope, I did no such thing. Temu sponsorship? Yes. Right, so that must have been another 43-year-old Brad Lindsay from Louisville, Kentucky, who runs a YouTube channel called the Guitologist. Probably a pretty common thing, right? By the way, all of this is super public info, and basically the first search results when Googling not just his name, Brad Lindsay, but also the Guitologist, his channel. I would never post any kind of shit that like doxes people or any sort of personal information that I dig up where it's not public, because that's not the kind of person that I am, but this is all 100% public info. He was plastered all over national news for this shit. It's been established that Brad is not really a fan of anything that would have been considered mental illness in the good old days of the 1940s, and so his channel is also plastered full of shit like this. I didn't watch the new Guitologist repair video because A, I no longer watch amp repair videos, B, it was too long, C, I hate the Guitologist and everything he stands for, or D, I'm a mentally challenged homosexual. This was posted like 2 or 3 months ago. Long after the entire, school gun crash out situation and whatever came before and after that, and even whatever residual fan base he has that is still willing to watch his content is getting sick of it. This man went from a beloved YouTube channel, an entertaining gear YouTuber, to a guy who does political rants in his living room with a firearm constantly within frame on a table next to him. I don't know what wires got crossed around 5 years ago in this man's head to cause his brain to slowly melt ever since, but it's no fun to watch. This weird upsurge in ultra-right-wingers in a scene like rock music, which was entirely born out of a pure hatred for right-wing governments, has always confused me, especially because every one of these bozos is constantly trying to just be a victim of something or other. But Brad is different. This man is deranged. Comment on how shoddy his workmanship is in one of his amp repair videos. Well, you better prepare to hear slurs that you forgot existed because nobody has used them since the 1950s. And God forbid you talk about a serious economical issue that threatens to not only completely fuck over the industry of amplifier repairs, which he works in full time, but also the entire guitar industry and every other industry in existence. Oh boy. The Guitologist is the archetype of everything that is wrong with and commonly hated about the guitar scene. And I don't know why anyone is still watching his videos, but if you are, stop. So thank you for watching. It is horribly humid out here and probably like 32 degrees Celsius. I really need to go change my shirt and take a shower. You have a good day, and I'll see you around.